Imagine being thousands of miles from shore when suddenly the ship beneath you shudders, tilts, or even catches fire. For the passengers on these cruises, that nightmare was real, but somehow they survived. From rogue waves to engine room explosions, today we'll be diving into the most intense cruise ship near disasters from the early 2000s to now and how they narrowly avoided tragedy. MSC Lirica fire during layup. In March 2021, the MSC Lirica was docked in Corfu, Greece, during the pandemic layup when a fire broke out in a lifeboat area on the starboard side. Thick black smoke billowed over the harbor, and firefighting teams responded quickly. Fortunately, the ship had only crew on board and no one was injured. The fire was extinguished before it could spread to passenger areas, but the damage was a sobering reminder that even when docked and empty, cruise ships are never risk-free. Norwegian Escape collides with dock in Puerto Rico. In March 2020, the Norwegian Escape was docking in San Juan, Puerto Rico, when strong winds pushed the vessel into the pier, damaging both the ship and the dock infrastructure. The hull sustained visible dents, though no passengers were harmed. The Escape underwent repairs and was back in service shortly after. This event, though minor compared to others, was a reminder that even modern ships with advanced navigation systems can be at the mercy of the elements. Carnival Sunshine severe listing. Later in 2019, the Carnival Sunshine encountered severe weather while sailing off the southeastern U.S. coast. The ship was caught in a violent storm, leading to intense listing and chaos on board. Water leaked into corridors. Passengers described broken glass, injuries, and belongings scattered throughout the decks. While the ship remained structurally sound and continued its journey, the experience left many passengers shaken and demanding answers about weather monitoring procedures. MSC Opera collision in Venice. On June 2, 2019, the MSC Opera was attempting to dock in Venice when it suffered a technical failure and collided with a smaller river cruise ship and the pier. The video footage went viral almost instantly, showing the Opera's massive hull scraping along the dock as bystanders ran for cover. Thankfully, no lives were lost, but several people sustained injuries. The incident reignited debates about whether such large ships should be allowed in Venice's fragile lagoon. In March 2019, the Viking Sky was carrying 1,373 people along the Norwegian coast when it was hit by storm-force winds and lost all engine power. Without propulsion, the ship began drifting toward rocky shallows near Hustadvika, a place infamous for shipwrecks. A dramatic rescue operation involving helicopters, airlifting passengers one by one, unfolded while the crew worked to restart the engines. Eventually, they regained power and diverted to a safe harbor. It was one of the closest modern calls to a full-scale disaster. If you're still watching, you're clearly as fascinated by these stories as we are. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've got more incredible real-life cruise tales coming up every week right here on MeOcean. Azamara Quest fire in Philippine waters. In March 2012, while sailing through the Sulu Sea in the Philippines, the Azamara Quest experienced a fire in the engine room that knocked out propulsion. For 24 hours, the ship drifted helplessly with more than 1,000 people on board, including many elderly guests. While power was eventually restored, 5 crew members suffered from smoke inhalation during the emergency response. The ship limped to Malaysia for repairs. This event underscored just how vulnerable small luxury ships could be in remote waters. Costa Europa crash at Sharm el-Sheikh. On February 26, 2010, high winds and poor visibility created a deadly combination as the Costa Europa attempted to dock at Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. The ship crashed into the pier, tearing open a section of the hull and flooding the crew quarters. 3 crew members were killed, and several others were injured. Though the ship didn't sink, the event led to extensive repairs and caused Costa to reevaluate safety procedures in high-risk ports. Carnival Splendor engine room fire. Later that same year, in November 2010, the Carnival Splendor was on a Mexican Riviera cruise when a fire broke out in the aft engine room, completely disabling the ship. For nearly 4 days, over 4,500 passengers and crew drifted at sea without air conditioning, working toilets, or hot food. The U.S. Navy delivered emergency supplies by helicopter, and tugboats eventually towed the ship back to San Diego. Despite the hardships, no one was seriously injured, but it was a wake-up call about the importance of engine room safety and redundancy. Sea Diamond sinks in Santorini. In April 2007, the MSC Diamond, operated by Louis Hellenic Cruises, struck an underwater volcanic reef near Santorini. As the ship began listing and flooding, more than 1,600 people were evacuated in a chaotic scramble. Though the majority escaped safely, a French father and daughter were tragically lost in the process. The ship later sank completely, sliding beneath the caldera. The wreck still lies at the bottom of the sea today, serving as a haunting reminder of the risks of coastal navigation near underwater hazards. Crown Princess listing incident. On July 18, 2006, the brand-new Crown Princess had just departed Port Canaveral, Florida, when it suddenly listed 24 degrees to starboard. Passengers were thrown against walls and furniture, and panic gripped the decks. Over 90 people were injured, with many requiring hospital care. It turned out to be a case of human error, a misjudgment in steering correction by an officer responding to a malfunctioning sensor. The ship eventually returned safely to port, but the incident raised serious questions about training and response protocols. Norwegian Dawn and the Rogue Wave. In April 2005, the Norwegian Dawn was heading back to New York from the Bahamas when the unthinkable happened. Off the coast of Georgia, a massive rogue wave, reportedly over 70 feet high, struck the ship with full force. Windows in several staterooms shattered, seawater flooded over 60 cabins, and 4 passengers were injured. While the ship didn't capsize, the encounter left deep psychological marks on those on board. The Norwegian Dawn rerouted to Charleston, South Carolina, for emergency repairs. Rogue waves had long been thought to be rare anomalies, but after this, their threat became far more widely acknowledged. From rogue waves and engine fires to sudden blackouts and docking collisions, these stories remind us that cruise ships, as vast and advanced as they are, still sail through unpredictable waters. But they also remind us of something else: the resilience of maritime engineering, the bravery of crew, and the capacity of humans to stay calm when it matters most. Thanks for sailing through these stories with us. And if you found this video insightful, leave a comment below. Share your thoughts and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next.